Hello, Cowboy fans. My name is Paul, and I am the host of the Cowboys Tweet Tracker, a brand new show, the premiere here today, that gives you all the information about the latest Cowboy player tweets. Now, as you can see, I'm dressed in a Romo jersey, but I've got space pictures behind me. That's because I'm located on Florida's Space Coast, right next to the Kennedy Space Center, and I'm trying to rep for the Dallas Cowboys, kind of trying to hold it down here and give you the latest and greatest from the Twitter sphere when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. So we're going to go over everything from what they thought about the last game to what's happening in their lives to quirky tweets to what do they think about the upcoming opponent, etc., etc. So let's get it started. We're going to go right away with wide receiver Jesse Holley. You know him as Mr. Fourth and Long. This guy is great. This guy's a hard worker. He worked his butt off to make the practice squad. He worked his butt off to get on the roster. And you know what? This guy continues to work his butt off. And if you look at this, he says, this tweet, he comes out September 13th. He says, all in the name of the game. And I'm thinking, well, what does that mean? Well, there's a link to a photo in this thing. And when I click on that photo, it shows Mr. Holley's knee. Not only that, but it shows about 20 needles in his knee. And I'm like, ouch. This man is getting acupuncture after the game to repair his knee and make sure he stays healthy and competitive. And I don't know. That doesn't look like it feels good to me. I don't know how it looks to you, but I don't want anybody shoving needles in my knee. And I got to give him much credit for doing whatever it takes to get on the field. This guy is a true competitor, and I think that's a great example. The next tweet comes from wide receiver Dez Bryant. Now, Dez Bryant, you know, has taken a lot of heat for his maturity. He's taken a lot of heat for, you know, having the saggy pants at the mall. It's been fairly quiet this season. You know, there's a few things that cropped up this week in the news. Not much on him. It's good. But I like this tweet that came out from him on October 9th. It says, tell the truth, I hate we had a bye week. So you got to like that. I mean, here's a man who has a week off. You know, it's kind of your vacation from work, and you get 4 days off in a row. That's what they get during bye week. And this guy says he hates bye week. He wants to be practicing or playing. You know, I think that's the kind of players we need. That's the type of attitude we need in this team. So I like that. Now, next we got Miles Austin. So we went through three wide receivers now. We went through Holley, we went through Bryant, now we're into Miles Austin. And Miles says, I guess I got my swagger back, truth. And so, you know, this is referring to the fact that Miles has been out for over 3 weeks with a sore hamstring. You know, really worried about this. I am. I'm sure you are too, because you know what? These hamstring injuries, they can last a season. Here's the problem with them. It gets sore, the muscle starts to have a problem with it, repairs a little bit, then all of a sudden you overexert again on a play and you damage it, you pull it, and now you're out for several weeks. So really hoping that Miles is okay. You know, when he had that injury in the San Francisco game, he actually said that it felt like someone was taking a machete to the back of his leg. So hopefully that is not the case here. Hopefully this man is back to 100%, and hopefully he does have his swagger back. So another player I do certainly like on the Dallas Cowboys, but one thing I do not like is Miles' profile picture on Twitter. Look at this thing. Now, I know Miles, hey, he's a good-looking guy. He's a sharp dresser. I give him all that, you know. But, I mean, this is a profile picture. This really looks like something you'd see shot at Glamour Shots. I mean, what I want to see is, Miles, give us something raw. Let's see you stretching out for a touchdown. Let's see you stiff-arming somebody. We don't want to see a model shot. I mean, you know, save your model shots for, you know, the GQ magazine. When we see you on Twitter, we want to see you go hard. All right, next tweet. Tashard Choice. Now this guy, his mouth to me can never keep up with his level of play. He's always talking about what he can do and how great he can be, and if he's only given the chance, and yet when he gets the chance, you know, the guy hasn't done all that much in my mind. You know, some of you out there probably love Tashard. You know, my only thing is, hey, his actions don't match his words. And the other thing is, watching him on Twitter, he cracks me up. Because the guy is constantly talking about fighting through adversity and overcoming things and overcoming hurdles and obstacles, and he's going to prevail and all this kind of stuff. That's all great, but you know what? You know, your life isn't that bad. You're on the Dallas Cowboys. You're making millions of dollars. You at least get some playing time. Now just make the most of it and make the most of your opportunity. We don't need to hear about you overcoming adversity, because you know what? The only adversity you've really had is yourself. And I'll tell you what, he actually kind of baits a lot of Twitter haters when he does this. And here's a tweet he put out October 12th. He said, instead of going through the storm, I should be making history. And so, okay, it's like, okay, what's that all about? So someone shoots back at him. You should be working hard and getting ready for the pass instead of tweeting nothing given to you, gotta take it. So I'm thinking, Tashard will never respond to that guy. Yes, he does. He says, negative people, you don't know me. So the guy in response hits him back and says, you don't know me either, bro. That's why you're a backup/scrub. And so now he's getting a little personal, right? And Tashard's pretty sensitive, as we know. And so he shoots back with a pretty good zinger. He says, do you play? No. So keep watching and hating. So I thought that was kind of funny. That kind of wraps up Tashard all in one soundbite there. All right, Marty B. Here's another eclectic guy, another guy that's taken some heat. He hasn't lived up to his draft choice number. He hasn't lived up to, what he's talked about himself. And so there are people that are unsatisfied with Marty. And he says, I need more critics, more successes on the way. Hope my haters ready. I need y'all. Well, I don't know why he needs haters, but if he needs him to get revved up, hopefully he will get revved up, because in the last few games, all he has done is catch a couple of screen passes. Now, I'm sure the guy's a great blocker. We all admire that. But look, how about going over the middle, catching a pass? How about getting in the end zone, catching a pass? How about catching a fade pass? Look, can we throw you a jump ball? Can you catch it? I mean, this guy's just not panned out to what he's lived up to be. So hopefully those haters do fuel him. But you can't be too hard on the guy, because apparently he's settled down. He said he's going to be more mature now. He's gotten married. He's apparently a family guy now. So maybe he will focus a little bit more this season. And so he puts up a picture here. He says, Blake is getting so big. She's huge. And here's the picture. And I thought that was really cute. So he kind of softens you up a little bit on Marty. Cute girl here. Obviously, though, you can see this girl is going to be a pretty big girl and probably a pretty big woman. I'm wondering if she has a sports career in her future. Moving on, next tweet from Marty B. This one really cracked me up. He says, painting I'm doing for Kitna. And I'm thinking, what is this about? Because Marty is kind of off the wall, so you never know what he's going to do. But lo and behold, you check out his link to this, and it's a picture, and you can see there's John Kitna. I'm assuming that's Kitna's wife. And now keep in mind, this is only half done apparently, because the white around Kitna's head is, where his hair is going to be painted in, and then his shirt's going to be finished, and the background's going to be finished. But really, pretty impressive. I mean, I'm floored, because that face looks like Kitna. So I'm a little bit, I'm like 10% skeptical that Marty B really did this. But if he did, man, props to him, because he is a great artist. That is awesome. Now here's my only issue. Marty, why are you doing it for Kitna? Okay, Marty B comes out this summer, criticizes Romo, and then he's actually doing a painting for not Romo, but he's doing it for Kitna. So look, Marty, if you're going to bond with one of the quarterbacks, here's an idea. Bond with the starting quarterback, the guy who throws the passes, okay? I mean, Romo just got married. That would have been one heck of a wedding gift if you could have given him a painting like that. So, you got to think, man. Think strategically. All right, next one from Jason Hatcher. Does a shout out here on October 11th to Frank Walker, Martellus Bennett, and Terrence Newman saying, getting extra work on their day off. Salute. So that's nice to know. Hey, man, you got in the NFL 6 days that you're working, 1 day off. The day off in the Cowboys is usually Tuesday. And you know what? These guys are coming in and still coming to Valley Ranch and working their butts off trying to get better. So, you got to like that. I don't know how many of us would be getting 1 day off a week from our job and decide to go back into the office on that 7th day. Probably not too many. Of course, not many of us make, multi-millions, including me. So I guess that maybe changes things a little bit. But still, hey, it's a good sign, right? Then the next tweet from Jason Hatcher says, I'm in this hyperbaric chamber. He's bored. Somebody tell me something good. Thought that was funny. Remember who used to use the hyperbaric chamber to get better was Terrell Owens. So maybe this will do Hatcher some good. Maybe it'll get him back on the field faster. But then you get, for those of you who didn't know, he just tweeted on Tuesday, he's out for Sunday. He said, we'll see about the following week. So this is disturbing. Wish we could have had him back for the Patriots game. Really need him in the defense. But hopefully he comes back next week. I mean, if we haven't gone the next 2 games, that's just going to soften our defense all the more. And the last tweet from Hatcher, he says, just finished yoga, constant battle trying to get back. I thought this one was hilarious because can you see this big guy in the yoga room with the yoga mat with all these kind of scrawny people twisting and contorting? I would love to see a picture of Jason Hatcher with, in a namaste position, all contorted with his legs one way and his arms another way and his head a different way. I think it'd be hilarious to see this guy in yoga, but I have to give him a lot of credit regardless for doing it, because it's another example of how he's trying to get better and how he's trying to, overcome his injuries. Frank Walker tweets this one. He says, shout out to Loren Robinson. Yo, I found out where our checks are. This one cracked me up because these guys make millions of bucks, right? And they don't know where their checks are. I mean, floors me. What floors me even more is the Dallas Cowboys don't have a thing called what? Electronic funds transfer? I mean, how many of us have worked at rinky-dink small businesses that have had electronic transfer? The Dallas Cowboys can't have that. I mean, you got to actually go and make sure you get your check and make sure no one steals your check and all that kind of jazz. So maybe the Dallas Cowboys can kind of get the speed and get electronic transfer going. Next one, also by Frank Walker, comes in response to a tweet from Jason and Devin McCourty. These guys are twins. Jason plays for the Titans. Devin plays for the Patriots. They tweet out, my boy, I'm in Foxborough. Might holler at you Saturday when your boys all get up here. Frank Walker tweets back, let's do it, cuz the whole team dark side will be in the building. Now, I got a little concerned when I saw this. I'm thinking, is Frank Walker going to be hanging out with the enemy, with the Patriots, with a Patriot? Come on. But I saw that tweet was actually from Jason McCourty, who plays for the Titans. So maybe it's all good. Maybe he's not going to be consorting with the enemy, consorting with Devin. The other thing is, kind of curious as to who he means by the team dark side. Does that mean the Cowboys defense? Does that mean his posse, his crew? Or is that some rap group? What is that? So if anyone knows, please add it in the comments below. And the last tweet, this comes from Jason Witten. A lot of times we wish that the Cowboy players had a little bit more knowledge of Cowboys history when you watch the interviews. We need them to know about people like Roger Staubach and Don Meredith and Tom Landry and Danny White and Randy White and Ed Too Tall Jones. The list goes on. But I like this. Witten is a classy guy. Never curses, never hates, never calls anybody out. He just says this. He just retweets a lot of motivational quotes. And here's what he says. Setting a goal is not the main thing. It is deciding how you will go about achieving it and staying with a plan. And that quote actually came from Tom Landry. So really impressed with Jason. Here he's paying homage to Tom Landry and putting some of the Cowboys' old school knowledge, back out in the Twitter sphere. So you got to love that guy. So I think that wraps it up. This is it. I am Paul. You just got finished watching the Cowboy Tweet Tracker, and we will see you next week for all the latest and greatest in Cowboys tweets. Thanks.